at all. I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint. We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to
Blake Lively's carefully curated world? It's collapsing, faster than even her worst PR team nightmares could have imagined. What was supposed to be just another Hollywood dispute has mutated into a wildfire of scandal, suspicion, and betrayal that refuses to die down. The court battle between her and Justin Baldoni? It's no longer just about legal jargon or technicalities. It's a high-stakes war of reputations, and every new revelation feels like a bombshell. And while both stars are fighting tooth and nail, it's Blake who seems to be cracking under pressure. Every day she sinks deeper into the chaos. Legal documents, past clips, and bitter accusations resurfacing like ghosts she can't shake off. And at the center of it all, a desperate plea for forgiveness and a last-ditch attempt to make the nightmare go away.
Baldoni getting close to her, obviously making small chatter not in character so as not to make the scene, which didn't require dialogue.
Blake's latest move? She tried to dismiss Justin's defamation lawsuit altogether. On the surface, it might seem like a bold play, a way to snatch back control of her spiraling public image, but let's not sugarcoat it. Behind the scenes, it reeks of panic. Her legal team is leaning on California's anti-SLAPP law, a piece of legislation meant to protect individuals who speak out against harassment. The message from Blake's camp is clear. Justin is supposedly punishing her for speaking her truth. But Justin's lawyers? Oh, they're not having it, not even a little. They're firing back hard, insisting this has nothing to do with silencing anyone. It's about restoring a name that's been dragged through the mud. And they've got ammo, receipts, video, testimonies, everything they need to spin the spotlight right back onto Blake, painting her as the real aggressor.
Everybody's talking because the sink is shipping and people want to get onto lifeboats. So let's jump right in. Welcome back to Canada.
If Blake loses this motion, it's game on. The case won't just continue, it'll snowball. And worse, she could be forced to pay Justin's legal fees. Financially, that's a hit, but reputationally, it's a catastrophe. In an industry built on perception, Blake is slipping fast. She's no longer setting the narrative. She's chasing it. And right now, she's losing.
This is such a interpretation of perspective because I watched the footage, and I'm sure we all have, and it's...
And here's where it gets messy. Blake's not just getting heat from Justin's team. Oh no. The criticisms are coming from everywhere. Let's talk about Talia Spencer, a storyboard artist who worked on It Ends With Us. She recently dropped a scathing interview with 60 Minutes Australia, and she did not hold back. Talia accused Blake of steamrolling Justin's creative vision. Allegedly, Blake used Justin's kindness as leverage, twisting the film's direction in her favor. According to Spencer, the movie we ended up with? A far cry from what Justin had originally envisioned. This isn't just shade, it's a spotlight on behind-the-scenes sabotage. And let's be clear, Talia isn't some random extra. She's a credible voice. And her words? They've added gasoline to a fire that's already out of control.
Yeah, it's just getting super nasty, and it seems like he's not cowering to this attempted gag order.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
And now Blake's being labeled manipulative. That's not just a gossip tag, it's an identity crisis for someone who built her career on being America's golden girl. People online are connecting the dots. And guess what just resurfaced? That infamous interview where Blake brags about improvising a scene with Henry Golding, grabbing him in a way that now seems very inappropriate. The irony? Blake is accusing Justin of making her uncomfortable with his own on-set improvisation. So let's get this straight. She gets to improvise physical scenes, but when someone else does it, it's suddenly misconduct? Social media is not having it. The hypocrisy accusations are exploding, and Blake's PR team, they look like they've been caught flat-footed.
But yeah, it's just getting super nasty, and it seems like he's not cowering to this attempted gag order.
Yeah, I don't really understand Blake Lively.
And then there was the donut shop disaster. It should have been a cute, feel-good publicity moment. Instead, full-blown scandal. Blake made a surprise visit to a small donut shop in Connecticut, probably trying to look relatable. But instead of applause, she got dragged. Why? Because she was caught behind the counter, hair down, no gloves, no precautions, basically breaking every food safety rule in the book. The internet? Ruthless. Yelp reviews tanked. The local health department launched an investigation. Blake's team tried to twist the narrative, saying she was being targeted by haters aligned with Justin's camp. But let's be real, this wasn't a takedown, it was a cell phone. Sloppy, tone-deaf, and a PR nightmare.
I'll say, it is also interesting that the defendants in this answer also admit that they sent text messages. I mean, when Lively produced copies of these text messages that she got through a subpoena, there's really nowhere else to go on that. You got to admit that you sent these, but it doesn't mean that Baldoni and the other defendants will agree to the context or the characterization that was laid out by Blake Lively. For instance,
Hollywood fame is a delicate thing, and Blake's is crashing like a plane with no landing gear. Everything she posts, everything she says is now dissected like evidence. Even her Eeyore quote on Instagram, "It never hurts to keep looking for sunshine," was mocked. What should have been an innocent, inspirational post, seen as a cry for sympathy. And the comments, brutal. People are calling her fake, manipulative, and painfully out of touch. Meanwhile, Justin is sitting tight, focused, calculated. His legal team is filing non-stop motions, and his allies, slowly but surely, they're stepping up. Some, like Paul Feig, the Simple Favor director, are playing it clever, praising Blake while subtly shading her. But it's the rumors from It Ends With Us that are really changing the game. Word is, Justin didn't just lose creative control, he was blindsided. And now, he's fighting back, not just legally, but to reclaim his name. So what's Lively?
And we also need to stop being so ADHD where we're only into stories at the very beginning of them and we never see them through. Like, we need to bring back true investigative reporting.
Next, honestly, it's hard to see a comeback for Blake right now. The court dates are locked in, the public is losing patience, and the headlines keep getting worse. And now, the pressure isn't just on her publicist or lawyer, it's creeping into her personal life. And that's where things take an even darker turn. Cracks are starting to show, and they're not small. Whispers are swirling about her most cherished relationships beginning to crumble, especially her picture-perfect marriage to Ryan Reynolds. They were once Hollywood's most beloved couple, but lately, that fairy tale looks more like a facade.
First and foremost, I should tell you that I have a major scoop regarding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, their newest legal plan, or something that they were attempting.
First, let's talk Ryan. Normally, he'd be cracking jokes, posting cheeky support, defending his wife like a social media gladiator. But now, silence. He's been radio silent through Blake's entire legal meltdown. And that's not just strange, it's chilling. Why isn't he standing up for her like before? Could it be the lawsuit named him too? Justin's countersuit actually pulled Ryan into the drama, accusing him of helping orchestrate a smear campaign. Now it's not just Blake's mess, it's their mess. And Ryan, he's a smart guy. He's got an empire, gin brands, soccer teams, movie studios. He knows when something threatens the brand, and people close to them are saying he's not happy. At all.
With you. Like, he literally tells Ryan he wants to be friends with you. And I can just see Ryan sitting there like, yes, this is exactly what I want, a puppy to kick in the mouth.
Behind the scenes, it's getting tense. Word is Ryan has begged Blake to cool it. No more cryptic quotes, no more chaotic appearances. But Blake, she's not backing down. She's on a warpath, determined to control the story, even if it means doubling down on the very chaos that's tanking her image. And that attitude reportedly driving Ryan up the wall. One insider even claimed he's exhausted mentally and emotionally. He's watching their power couple brand crumble in real time. And the longer this drama drags out, the worse the fallout will be. Because in Hollywood, your marriage is part of your business, and that business is bleeding.
Oh, but genuinely, Steph, if you're watching this, I genuinely don't like Blake Lively. Like, I genuinely know, I've known she's a brat. Nobody's paying me to say this, but it's...
And here's where fans really started freaking out. Paparazzi snapped Ryan out and about without his wedding ring. That's not just suspicious, it's headline bait. And Blake, nowhere to be seen by his side. Their usual arm-in-arm strolls, gone. The PDA, vanished. For a couple that used to flaunt their love, their new silence is loud, deafening actually. Even their Instagram game is off. Where are the sarcastic captions, the playful digs, the couple selfies? Now, nothing. And in celebrity culture, that kind of silence often screams trouble.
Like I said, this feels a little bit like a cop-out, and I think it's more likely that what she's doing here is trying to stay out of it. This is the Taylor Swift movement. This is likely a legal strategy. I don't want to be involved in this case.
And to make it worse, Hollywood insiders are talking. One source claims Ryan has been taking private meetings without Blake. And for them, that's weird. They've always been a team, always. The fact that he might be planning his own next moves, possibly without her in the picture, it's telling. Fans are already buzzing. Are we watching the end of Blake and Ryan? But the drama doesn't stop there. There's another relationship cracking under the spotlight, one that used to be just as unshakable.
Her PR team, if you're her agents, if you are her lawyer, you are saying to her, you need to be neutral. You need to stay out of this thing.
Taylor Swift. Once upon a time, Blake and Taylor were inseparable. Vacations, dinners, cute birthday posts. But now, Taylor's gone silent. No likes, no retweets, no support. In Taylor's world, silence isn't an accident, it's a strategy. And rumor has it, she's distancing herself. Carefully. Why? Because she's worried that Blake's scandal is radioactive, and being too close to it could torch her own brand.
And he says, like, look, this is just, Hollywood is based on pure fear, cultivated by both of them and their very powerful friends.
Blake's career hanging by a thread. Hollywood insiders are split. Do they risk casting her and praying the storm passes, or do they quietly blacklist her until the dust settles? On one side, there's still recognition of her talent. She's undeniably a force on screen. But on the other, she's now branded a liability. The press won't let up, fans are divided, and directors are worried that any project with her name attached will become about her drama, not the film. That's every producer's worst nightmare. Brand deals drying up. One source close to a major beauty contract admitted that talks of renewal had stalled. They're watching the situation closely, worried that Blake's image has become too polarizing. For someone who once reigned as a fashion darling who could sell anything with a smile, this is a brutal fall from grace.
Liz Plank was out, instantly said she quit, a show of support and solidarity with Blake after everything dropped. And people began looking in.
And here's the plot twist. Blake's once loyal inner circle, dead silent. No shoutouts, no support, just calculated distance. In Hollywood, silence means survival. And right now, no one wants to get burned by her flame. The courtroom battle with Justin Baldoni is near, and this isn't just actor versus actor. It's about power, truth, and public loyalty. Blake may want forgiveness, but Justin's not backing down. He's got receipts, a strategy, and an army of supporters. Meanwhile, Blake's world is crumbling, her image shattered, friendships fading, and her marriage with Ryan hanging by a thread. So, what's really going on behind those smiles and curated posts? Is Blake the villain or the victim? Is Ryan still standing by her or quietly slipping away? And did Taylor Swift really cut ties to protect her brand? Whatever the truth is, Hollywood's watching, and no one escapes without scars. Without scars.